have you got for us?
Well, I brought stuff for show and tell.
Show and tell stuff.
Yeah. Well, I thought my topic today would be just like rarity in games, and it kind of ties in with the collecting thing as well, I guess, and how we pay a lot of money for games, especially collector's editions, and just why we're willing to spend that amount of money on our hobbies, and where the line kind of blurs between just buying a game to play it, but also buying it to collect it as well, and what's a reasonable amount of money to actually spend on these things. I thought I'd just start with the 3DS that I got.
Oh, nice.
That's the collector's edition for the Zelda Majora's Mask one. Now this was very hard to get. When it got released, I think EB was selling it and a couple other people, and it got sold out like within 24 hours. So unless you pre-ordered it, you couldn't get it. And even if you tried to pre-order it, they probably didn't have enough copies of it anyway. So I got this one off Trade Me, and again I had to pay like $250 for it or something, which wasn't too bad actually. It was actually a really good deal. I got lucky, but I've seen it go for like $500, $600 on Trade Me. So
wow.
It's really expensive. I'm happy I got it because it looks cool, and I'm happy to pay that price. But I don't know if I would have paid $500 or $600.
Yeah.
But
that's more than brand new.
Yeah.
It didn't come with the game.
No, it didn't. Some of them did. It depends where you got it from. I think in the UK they came preloaded with Majora's Mask, but for some reason here in Australia they didn't. You just got a separate copy with it. So I'm guessing the guy that had this kept the copy of it and just wanted to sell it.
Yeah, but you didn't want the game though, did you?
I will get it eventually, but I don't want it at the moment because I've got too many other things to play. And I just wanted to just give some examples of some things like that I'm collecting. So I've got some Mega Drive and Master System games here.
Holy
shit. I'll just ask you guys, if you saw this in a garage sale or if you saw it somewhere, how much would you pay for one of these?
$10.
$10?
Wow.
Fatal Fury and The Simpsons Bart versus the Space Mutants.
Man, I don't know, probably $10.
$10?
Yeah, I'm only saying that because I haven't played them before. So.
So the things you got to consider is can you play these anywhere else? For example, is this game available on any other system? Has it ever been ported? Answer's no.
Nah, I wouldn't say so. No.
Because it's a franchise, because it's based on another license, another property, The Simpsons. You're not going to see it re-released because they have to pay, royalties for re-releasing it. This game here, Fatal Fury 2, I think has been released in some other packs occasionally.
Yeah, I think it has.
In different versions, Neo Geo, things like that. You'll be surprised. This game here is one of the rarest Mega Drive games in the PAL region. It's probably I don't know how much I could get for it, but I could say maybe if I put it on Trade Me, I could probably get $80 to $100 for it. Conservatively, maybe? I don't know, but it depends what people are willing to pay.
Yeah. Well, that's what it always comes down to.
Also, I don't have a Sega or a Master System anymore, so I would still pay like $10 for that, even though I don't have one.
Yeah, just to have it.
Yeah.
And this one here usually goes for around $40 to $50 on Trade Me, but again, it's got to be complete. You've got to have the instruction manual and the game, and it's got to be in good condition, no rips and that kind of thing. So there's quite a market for this now. And I've noticed
mainly just for collectors though, not for
mainly for collectors. Yeah,
because if I wanted it, I just want the game.
I think people want to play them as well.
Yeah.
But there are people that are obviously doing it for collecting.
You have the ability to play everything you've got here.
Yes.
You own a console.
Yeah, I have a Master System. I have a Mega Drive. I have a Sega Saturn. So if people want to buy these things, they just got to go on Trade Me and try to find them. But they're not easy to get sometimes.
Well, especially when they're collector's items, so the people that have them are actually holding on to them.
Yeah, and some people Fatal Fury 1 is on Trade Me at the moment for about $60. And I'm looking at it going, I don't really want it, but someone else might.
Yeah.
And it's interesting the prices people are asking for these things.
This game came out in the 80s?
Yeah.
Early 90s.
Man, I remember these games too.
Probably 1990 maybe.
It's funny, I remember playing this game. I remember playing that game, and I didn't really... I mean, they were fun, I enjoyed them, but it's funny to look at them now and think of them as being this collector's thing.
How much for these ones?
Ninja Gaiden and Wonder Boy in Monster World.
Wonder Boy and Monster World would be quite expensive.
This one is, again, it's interesting. Like I talked about Rarity with that, but this has got nothing to do with Rarity. It's actually, you can find a few copies
It's
of
quite a
it,
common game, yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder Boy.
but it's still, you pay at least $40 to $50 for it because it's one that people want. Same with this one. You pay $20 to $30 for Ninja Gaiden.
And just for comparison's sake, if we had, say, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Master System, what would that be worth?
Not as much because it was a pretty popular game. A lot of people had it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's readily available.
And no one really wants it, and you can get it on all these other systems.
You can usually get a version of it somewhere.
To
like
get the original would be worth, what, $1 or something? No one would really care.
Not really. But in America, the first Sonic game is the most expensive game on this Master System because it was quite rare. For whatever reason, and it's real stupid actually, because to look at the boxes, the PAL version and the American version look exactly the same. The only difference is the barcode on the back has a slightly different number. It starts with a 101 or something.
Yeah.
And that's a rarity.
And if you've got that barcode, then that game is worth, instead of being like $5 or $10, it suddenly skyrockets to about 100 plus.
Oh wow.
Just because of that.
Wow.
And what's worse is the barcode was a stick-on one. So if it's been ripped off,
Oh right.
you'll be
Yeah.
suddenly again the value plummets just because of it's more the barcode, the sticker that's on it that makes it rare rather than what it actually is.
Do you buy it for its barcode or you?
No, I'm not that
Yeah.
hard out. I'm not that hard out.
Couldn't you just reproduce a barcode and stick it on there?
Some people probably have.
I like those old Sega.
Now these two here are for the Sega Saturn. These are the Japanese versions though. And what you
Ooh.
get with Sega Saturn is, because it was so popular in Japan, the Japanese versions of games are very cheap. You can actually get them for pretty, but you obviously need like you need a thing called an action replay for your Sega Saturn to be able to play them, because it's only set to play for certain regions, and this action replay unlocks the Saturn, so you can play any region of games.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is cool. So this game here, Blazing Ranges, like the PAL version, you probably pay anywhere from... I just saw it on Trade Me the other day, actually. It went over $100. I bid on it, and it just went up to about 120 or something. I got this version for like $20 because it's Japanese. Same game, basically. You can play it. The only difference is all the text in
Japanese.
So, but they speak in English voices,
Oh yeah. Okay.
so you can kind of still understand what the story is, and you just can't read it obviously when they go to text instead of talking.
You learn Japanese.
You'd have to to be able to enjoy it. But of course, certain games like this is X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Yeah.
You don't need to know Japanese to play this. And the best thing is about most arcade games is they had English anyway, like Start, Fight. It was all in English. So this game is purely playable. You don't need the English version. It's exactly the same.
So why'd you get that one then?
Because I actually just got that cheap. And very hard to get.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no. Tell a lie. This never came out in the English territory. It was on Japanese release only. So that's why I got it.
On Sega Saturn.
Yeah, on Sega
Yeah.
Saturn. I think it came out on PlayStation.
Yeah, it did.
But
I
it
remember
didn't.
playing it.
Yeah, it didn't come out on the Sega Saturn in the English territory. So that's why I got that one.
That was a cool game, man.
And these games are like really good on the
Or
Sega
Sega,
Saturn.
eh?
Like they were purely made for that.
Mm.
That 2D fighting is really top notch. And just finishing off with the rest of the Sega Saturn library. So these two games here.
What the? Mr. Bones and Shinobi X?
How much do you think these would be worth? How much would you pay for these two?
Shinobi seems really expensive. I don't know who the hell is Mr. Bones. I'm going to say $5 for that, and I'm going to take a stab. $60 for Shinobi.
Yep. So last time I saw this on Trade Me, it was going for around that.
All right.
But I've seen it go for more.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I bought it. Most of these I actually got in England because over there's heaps of this stuff, and I was paying pounds for it. But I got this for maybe £20-30, so $60
Yep.
is about right. This one here is very rare. It's actually quite hard to find. I've never seen any on Trade Me. I got this one off Trade Me when I saw it. I just snapped it up. I think I paid $50 for it, which I think was bargain because I think it's probably worth closer to maybe 100, just based on the rarity alone. Again, really interesting game. You know, it's actually a mesh of 4 different play styles. It's a running game, so the running and jumping over things like an endless runner.
Yeah.
But it's also got an element of Guitar Hero type stuff where he plays a guitar and you've got to match up the cymbals and that kind of thing. Like the old, you know, with those, I can't remember the type of game it is, but you know, where the lines were coming down, you had to match the stars into the star, you know, as it scrolled along. And I think there's another, I can't remember the other one. There's I haven't actually got that far. It's quite a hard game. I've never gone past the first 2 levels.
Oh wow.
And that's the other thing. This game I've actually played and beaten, and it was brilliant. Like, in terms of being a Shinobi game, like, you look at that, okay, it's maybe not HD, but for its time, it's actually pretty damn good.
When did it come out?
You're probably looking at 97, 98.
Jeez.
It was the end of Sega Saturn's life cycle, finished in about 98, 99.
When the PlayStation came out.
Well, no, the Sega Saturn and the PlayStation came out at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but PlayStation obviously bet the Sega Saturn out because it could do things the Saturn couldn't do. Like the 3D gaming was far superior, but the 2D gaming was superior on the Sega Saturn because that's what it was designed for. Part of what actually makes these games so rare is the fact that you'll never see these emulated on other systems. You'll never see collector's editions of these things. So the Mega Drive and that you've probably seen,
Mega Drive
Mega
Game
Drive
Collection.
all the time. But the Sega Saturn was notoriously difficult to emulate. It was even difficult to design games for because it ran these 2 processors at the same time. And so the people that were designing the games had to learn how to, you know, program the stuff just for the Sega Saturn. It was incredibly difficult. And to this day, you can't actually emulate a Sega Saturn 100% accurately. You can, but it's not perfect. And because of that reason, you'll never see these games re-released.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's what makes them rare as well. And I'll finish on the one I paid the most for. I bought this the other day. This is a game that, again, it's incredibly rare.
What? 2 copies?
It's 4 discs. It's a role playing game. And it basically, I think it's like something like 40 hours, so maybe looking at 10 hours a disc. But it's kind of you know, you fly dragons and stuff, and you fight, and it's, you know, big adventure, kind of like a Final Fantasy, but it's just one person. You don't have a party or anything.
Right. I've heard of Panzer Dragoon. I didn't know anything about it though.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it until I started getting into the Sega Saturn and collecting it, because reading up about it, this was the holy grail.
Right.
In terms of the games. Again, this game got released right at the end of the Sega Saturn life cycle, so no one bought it, and they only released 30,000 copies in the world.
Oh, wow.
So this is one of 30,000.
That's pretty rare.
How much did you pay for this?
About $500.
Fuck.
What?
Oh, shit.
Wow.
And I probably paid, I would say, that's probably close to, I guess that is market value, roughly. I didn't overpay, I didn't underpay, I got it for what it's probably worth at the moment.
Wow.
Jeez.
I tried to buy these a couple of years back when I was in England, when it was around sort of £200.
Which is similar.
Which is
for
$400,
bucks, yeah.
and that was 5 years ago, and the price has not, in fact it's gone up since then. I've been watching it go up on because I go to these Rarity sites and I track them, see how they're going. Some things don't change, but some things just keep going up. So I could see that I was going to never ever get this if I didn't get it now. So I saw it on Trade Me. The guy had a buy now 500. I just did it straight away.
Jumped in.
Because I've only ever seen this. Wow. There was a second time in 5 years I've seen it on Trade Me. Overseas you can get it quite a bit, but again you're paying top dollar to get it.
Wow.
This is in pretty good nick. It's got the instruction booklet. It's missing a cardboard fold out cardboard sleeve.
Oh, that holds it together as one package.
So it's not fully complete, and because of that I didn't have to pay probably 600 or something stupid. But essentially I actually just wanted to play it. Because the other thing is this will never ever get re-released, ever, because the source code has actually been lost. And they've confirmed that. The people that developed it lost the actual source code. So unless they make the game again from scratch, you'll never ever see this game again.
Right, so it's 30,000 copies in the world, that's it.
Yeah, and you'll never see it re-released, ever.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I
So
love.
that's what makes it so expensive.
I love that you could have bought yourself a PlayStation 4 pretty much, but you decided to get
Have you
that.
played it? Is
Collecting-
any
yeah.
good? Yeah.
Well, you define irony. I go to put this in, so I just had school holidays. I
Doesn't work.
sat down, my Sega Saturn is dead.
Oh no!
Yeah, so I have to buy a new Sega Saturn.
See, that's the problem with
Yeah,
old,
with old
consoles.
Yeah, it's died. The engine, because it's a CD system. It needs yeah.
You just bought this $500 game.
I know. I couldn't believe it. I sat down and thought, well,
dude.
every other time I've bought a game, I've gone to try it out. It's sweet. Oh, I get this really expensive one. Been wanting to play it for 5 years. Doesn't work.
How much would you be able to get a
Wow.
Sega Saturn for then?
Anywhere from probably $100 to $200.
Oh yeah. Could you repair the one you got? Are there people around that still do
There
that?
are some people, yeah. I'm going to look at getting it repaired because I don't know what's wrong with it, but apparently they are easily repairable.
Okay.
So, Sega, obviously, completely right through there.
Yeah.
It's a pity that they're not around as much.
No, and they were such a force to reckon with back in the day when you think about it. And
Yeah, it's amazing that they sort of just fell off the side of the world.
they just don't make enough games now. They do the Total War series, and they've just done that Alien Isolation. That was their last game, but they're not branching out, and they've got all these
that's right.
properties they could actually
back
that are
backlog.
part of their portfolio they could actually use.
It's a pity they didn't stay relevant to the market.
What do you think killed them?
What, they didn't stay relevant?
Just trying to do the same thing as Nintendo, try to keep releasing consoles when they're actually more of a software developer.
But they haven't released a console since the Sega Saturn.
The Dreamcast was the last one.
Oh, was the Dreamcast after that?
Yeah.
But so when did the Dreamcast end? Like, when was that life cycle?
Well, technically you could say it ended in
Like-
2005, I guess, because they kept releasing games, and there was very slow trickle, but there was a massive community that kept playing them, and they still play it to this day.
Right.
Because they had that Phantasy Star Online that was played on there.
But for the last 10 years then, they should have been focusing mainly on...
Sega, as we know it, doesn't exist. Sega got bought out by Nintendo. Nintendo owns Sega now.
Right, yeah.
And Sega's just I would say it's just a couple of guys in an office somewhere, literally. Like, you're probably looking at maybe 10, 20 people maybe.
It's weird to think such a powerhouse, eh? And then just...
Especially for the 80s, early 90s. That was our
Oh,
childhood.
I think you have to know when to
Yeah.
stop making consoles and maybe start looking into being a games
Yeah.
producer.
And I'm
company.
wondering if that's what's going to happen to Nintendo.
I think
in
that's
this
what
next
Nintendo should be
thing.
doing.
Yeah. If this NX thing is just an online thing, you just basically go on, you can play Nintendo games on a smartphone, tablet, PC, Xbox, whatever.
Oh, man, Nintendo on your Xbox? Or your play... Whatever, that would be awesome, being able to actually have access to that vast library.
They have to do. I think they have to do something like that. They either have to decide whether they're going to make consoles or not. It'd be cool to see a console that's on par or trying to stay as relevant as the mainstream consoles at the moment. But I don't know. We'll see. It'll be sad to kind of see them go from the market. But,
As a console.
yeah, as a console. But like we were saying, you got to know when to call it quits and just start producing games.
It makes you think, well, we're talking about libraries of games before. And I've thrown out all my cases. Should I keep my cases and my games and put them away nice and neatly and made them, maybe one day it might have fetched like $100, $500. Who knows?
Sometimes.
The older ones back in the day, nothing you buy now would ever, I think... Hey, there's nothing I could buy right now that in 50 years' time would people give a shit about. Surely.
Oh,
You'd be
yeah, I
surprised.
think you'd be
You
surprised,
reckon?
dude. Yeah.
But aren't they making more? Like, so they only made 30,000 of that, right? Games now it's easier. Like they're making more of it, so you're not going to have that sense of rarity.
Yeah, but look at the Wii U. That's going to lose support pretty soon. There's only maybe
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Was it 10 million something units have been sold of it, and again, there's going to be games that have come out near the end of the Wii U life cycle that might end up being quite rare.
I was being quite
There's some
narrow
rare-
thinking
there's
about.
rare PlayStation and PlayStation 2 games.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
I can sort of see that because PlayStation still does go back quite a while, but I'm literally thinking now, like, if I bought a game like Dead Rising 3 from Xbox One, and in 50 years' time, is there going to be an Xbox One game that people give a shit about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Probably lots of those collector's editions where they only
That's
bring a
interesting.
limited
Some of the
number
collector's
out.
Yeah,
editions,
collector's
yeah.
editions,
People-
day one editions.
Yeah.
People put them
Yeah.
aside just to make money, I think.
Yeah, if it's vacuum sealed, if it's never opened. Those amiibos, for example.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
are buying those up hard.
Yeah,
And they're not even opening them.
Yeah, those will go for a lot, though. They will hold their value.
Mm.
Interesting. All right, that was a good topic. It was
Yeah,
good
bro.
to see some of your
Awesome.
collection there. You've got even more, no doubt, at home.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
But that was just a taste of it. We're not going to let his address go on on the show.
$500, eh?